Madla. Good afternoon, everybody. So, myself, Dr. J.V. Kiran Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, Sri Adi Chunchungiri College of Pharmacy, BG Nagar. So, today I am going to discuss about Pharmacy Act 1948. So, coming to the contents of the topic, so history of Pharmacy Act, objectives, definitions, for the Pharmacy Council of India, provincial pharmacy councils, or it is also known as state pharmacy councils, registration of pharmacists, renewal fees, removal of names from the register, and issue of duplicate certificates and registration, and offences and penalties with respect to this act we are going to discuss in this chapter. Coming to the history of Pharmacy Act, in India, there was no restriction to practice the profession of pharmacy, and one could practice this profession as any other profession before the implementation of this act. However, persons having no knowledge in the education of professional pharmacy, or for not having pharmaceutical knowledge or pharmaceutical chemistry or pharmacology, were also engaged in the profession. Hundreds of cases were found by the government wherein compounding, mixing, or dispensing of medicine was being done by a person who were not adequately educated in this line, these causing a great harm to the health of the people. It was found necessary to enact a regulation of regulation of profession and practice of pharmacy. So now let us see the list of amendments and adaptations orders. The Adaptation Law 1950, the Adaptation Law number 3 Order 1956, the Pharmacy Amendment Act 1959, the Pharmacy Amendment Act 1976, the Pharmacy Amendment Act 1982, and the delegated legislation provides the amendment of this Pharmacy Act in 1985. So coming to the objectives of this Pharmacy Act, to restore the profession of pharmacy in its due place in health services, raising the status of profession of pharmacy in India, to regulate the profession of pharmacy in India, to provide uniform education and training throughout India, to maintain control over the persons entering into the profession of pharmacy, to protect the public health, medical use of drugs and drug abuse. Next, coming to the definitions under this act. So, Pharmacy Act, an act to regulate the profession of pharmacy. According to this act, medical practitioner means a person holding a qualification granted, notified under Section 3 of Indian Medical Degree Act 1916 or specified in the Schedule of Indian Medical Council Act 1956, or registered or eligible for registration in the medical register of a state, meant for registration of a person practicing the modern scientific system of medicine, or registered in a medical register of a state who, although not falling with the above first and second class, but it is declared by the general or special order of the state government. Registered or eligible for registration in the register of dentists, or the dentist for a state under Dentist Act 1948, who is engaged in the practice of veterinary medicine and who possesses qualification approved by the state government. These are all considered as medical practitioners. Then what is the definition of this registered pharmacist? A person whose name for the time being entered in the register of the state in which he or she is for the time being residing or carrying a profession or business of pharmacy. Next, coming to the Pharmacy Council of India. So today, since we are all into the profession of pharmacy, all the activities related to our pharmacy, it is regulated by Pharmacy Council of India, and it is a supreme statutory body for our pharmacy profession. Okay, the first Central Council was constituted in 1949 and it is reconstituted every 5 years. Coming to the constitution of PCI, it consists of three types of different types of members: elected members, nominated members, ex officio members. So elected members, they are elected by elections. Nominated members, they are nominated by the central government. Ex officio members, they will be holding the office in other places, but as and when the meeting will be called, they will come and attend the meeting, and the agendas of the meeting will be noted and then it will be forwarded to the central government. Then who are all the elected members? 6 members elected by the University Grant Commission. There is at least one teacher of each: pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmacy, pharmacognosy or pharmacology. 1 member elected by MCI. 1 member elected by the state council shall be a registered pharmacist. Next, nominated members. So, 6 members nominated by the central government, of whom at least 4 shall be possessing a degree or diploma in and practicing the profession of pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, a representative of UGC and all representatives of AICT, All India Council of Technical Education, and member nominated by the 1 member nominated by the uh, 1 member nominated by each state government who shall be a registered pharmacist. Next, coming to ex officio members. So ex officio members are Director General of Health Services, Director Central Drug Laboratory and Drug Controller of India. So executive committee consists of a president, vice president, 5 members elected by the central council from its members. President and Vice President of the Council shall be elected by the members among the Council from themselves. The Council shall appoint a registrar who acts as a secretary and other officers and servants. Next, coming to the functions of PCI. So, first is educational regulation. Minimum standards for education laid down by the PCI are known as educational regulation. They include minimum qualification for registration as a pharmacist, minimum qualification for admission into diploma in pharmacy, duration of training and course of study to the covered, and conditions to be fulfilled by the academic institution and by examining authority, nature and period of practical training, the subject of examination and minimum standards of passing, and the conditions to be fulfilled by the institution to be recognized for giving practical training contract from contract forum for pharmacists, to regulate educational regulation in states, and approval of institution providing courses examination for pharmacists. Institution has to apply for PCI or AICTE. PCI or AICTE deputes its inspector to visit the institution. The inspectors reports the council, on which, if council is satisfied, it approves the course of examination. So next, coming to the provincial council or state pharmacy council. So state pharmacy council, and there is if there is an interstate agreement between two states, then it is called as joint state pharmacy council. In such conditions, one state serves the needs of the another state, that is called as JSPC or JPC, both are same. Coming to the constitution of State Pharmacy Council. So similarly like PCI, here also there are 3 types of members. One is elected member, nominated member and ex officio members. So 6 members elected amongst themselves by a registered pharmacist of the state, and 1 member elected among themselves. Nominated members, 5 members, of whom at least 3 shall be possessing degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, or a registered pharmacist nominated by the state government. Coming to the ex officio members, Chief Administrative Medical Officer of the state, government analyst nominated by the state government under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, officer in charge of the drug control department of the state. Next, coming to Joint State Pharmacy Council. So here also similarly there will be elected members, nominated members and ex officio members. So coming to the elected members, 3 to 5 members elected among themselves by the registered pharmacist of each of the participating state, one member elected among themselves by the members of medical council of the state, and nominated members, 2 to 4 members nominated by each participating state, of whom more than half of them should possess a degree or diploma in pharmacy by a registered pharmacist. Next, coming to ex officio members, the chief administrative medical officer of each participating state, government analyst of each participating state, the officer in charge of the drug control organization of each participating state. So similarly, like PCI and State Pharmacy Council, here Joint State Pharmacy Council also will be having a president, vice president, and then of such number of other members. Next, coming to the registration of pharmacist. The Pharmacy Act 1948 provides for the registration of the pharmacist. There are two types of registers. One is first register, next is subsequent register. So now let us see what is first register and subsequent register. So the preparation and maintenance of the register. Okay, the register shall include the following particulars, namely the full name and residential address of the registered person, the date for his first admission to the register, his qualification for registration, his professional address, and if he is employed by any other person, the name of such person, and such further particulars as may be prescribed. Coming to the preparation of first register, for the preparation of first register, the state government has to constitute a registration tribunal. The tribunal consists of 3 persons, a registrar who can also act as a secretary. The tribunal fixes a date on or before which the application for registration with the prescribed fees are accepted. All the applications are examined, and if the tribunal is satisfied, it may direct to enter the name of the applicant in the register. Qualifications for entry on the first register. So the first and the foremost thing is the applicant should have completed 18 years of age. The applicant should reside or carries on the business or profession of pharmacy in the state consent state. Applicant should hold, first thing, a degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, or a diploma in chemist and druggist diploma. Qualification granted outside India which is adequate for registration. A degree of an Indian university with not less than 3 years of experience in dispensing in a hospital, or past examination for dispensers recognized by the state government, or not less than 5 years of experience of compounding prior to the date notified by the tribunal. Next, coming to subsequent register. Procedure for subsequent register. From the registered pharmacist of the state register, constitution of state council takes place. Applications are invited within the fixed date addressed to the registrar. If the registrar found the applicant has requisite qualification, he may direct his or her name to be entered in the register. If the application has been rejected by the registrar, he or she may appeal to the state council within 3 months of such rejection. The decision of the state council shall be final. Requirements for subsequent registration. The applicant should have completed 18 years of age. The applicant should carry the profession of pharmacy in the state, in the consent state. Next, qualification for entry of subsequent registration. So there are 3 types of qualification prescribed. After the preparation of first register, before educational regulation has taken place, after educational regulation took place, and special provisions. So, after the preparation of first register, before educational regulation took place, satisfies that the conditions prescribed by the central council or a registered pharmacist in another state or possess a qualification for registration granted outside the state and or at least matriculate. Next, special provisions. Provisions under the Pharmacy Act 1959 applies to the person affected by the partitioning in 1947 due to the recognition of the state in 1956 migrated to India. Provisions made under the Pharmacy Act 1978. Those who possesses degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or chemist and druggist diploma in any of the Indian universities are okay. Next, coming to the renewal fees. Retention of names on the register subject to the payment of the prescribed fee annually before 1st April. If a renewal fees is not paid by the due date, the registrar shall remove the name of the defaulter from the register, provided provided that a name so removed may be restored to the register on such conditions as may be prescribed. On the payment of the renewal fees, the registrar shall issue the receipt before receipt therefore, and such receipt shall be a proof of renewal of registration. Entry of additional qualification obtained, the registered pharmacist shall be entered in the register on payment of the prescribed fees. Removal of names from the register. The name of the pharmacist may be removed from the register if his name has been entered into the register by error, or if it has been convicted with an offence or any professional respect which renders unfit to kept his name in the register. If the employed person is registered pharmacist, and his name may be removed from the register if convicted of an offence or held guilty of infamous conduct. Offence was investigated by a registered pharmacist himself if the prescription similar to if the reputation of similar offence or conduct during the period of 12 months. Pharmacist may go to the appeal to the state government within 30 days. A person whose name has been removed from the register is required to be surrender a certificate of registration to the registrar. Issue of duplicate certificate of registration, where it is shown to the satisfaction of the registrar that certificate of registration has been lost or destroyed, the registrar may on payment of the prescribed fees issue duplicate certificate in the prescribed form. Coming to the last part of this topic, offences and penalties. If a person falsely claimed to be a registered pharmacist, a fine up to 500 rupees on first conviction, a fine up to 1000 rupees on second and subsequent conviction, or 6 months imprisonment of any subsequent conviction. Dispensing by unregistered person, 6 months imprisonment or a fine up to 1000 rupees, or both, except this it is not applicable for medical practitioners. Failure to surrender the certificate of registration, a fine up to 50 rupees. Next, obstruction to state pharmacy council inspectors, so 4 to 6 months imprisonment or a fine up to 1000 rupees, or both. These are all the references. Thank you.